Once upon a time, two singles met online and started a podcast, the Computer Love Podcast. Oh yeah. We back. What's up? 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 What is up? I am Jay Reed. And as always, I am accompanied by my beautiful co-host, none other than Shaquetta Shante.
Hey, y'all.
And we are back for another episode of the Computer Love Podcast, episode 18, I think. You know what? We just need to stop saying what episode we're on because
I definitely think it's either 17 or 18, but I think it's 18.
Because we were way off last time, but I think it's 18. All right, you know what? We're gonna do some research before we jump on this podcast because we don't be knowing. Hey, we back though. That's all that matters.
All that matters.
We just here for another episode.
Again.
Y'all don't care what episode it is, anyways.
I'm just like, y'all here, here.
Let's do the damn thing.
Let's just do it.
Give me these church announcements. That's what they want to hear, babe.
They want to hear the church announcements. I mean, because people have been church deprived. They've been ready to get back in the doors, okay?
They need that good word.
They need that word.
This ain't really the good word, though. This is
the announcement. This is just like, hey.
Hold tight. Y'all can get the word.
This is like every Sunday, like, thank y'all. Thank you. This is like our visitors time. So when you're recognizing the visitors moment, so that is this moment. So we recognize our visitors. Thank you all for continuing to come, showing up, support, enjoying, commenting, all of the above. We have, I would like to say, like, some members. So the members of the podcast are those that have actually subscribed, that have joined. And then we have the visitors, those that, like, I might pop in every now and then, see what's going on. We appreciate all of that.
All that.
Whatever works best for you all, as long as you are finding something within the content that either resonates with you, that makes you smile, make you go,
Things that make you cool.
Haven't considered that. All of that. We thank you so very much. Continue to chime in, continue to watch, continue to grow, learn with us, because we are not experts. We're sharing our experiences. We're sharing our opinions. We're sharing
our thoughts,
our journey.
Just sharing some good conversation with you guys.
So thank you.
Thank you for listening. Now on to my baby's motivational moment. What you got for him today, babe?
Okay. So, first, I'm going to go back because my motivational moment kind of comes from something that happened over the weekend. So, two things. One, have to go ahead and tell you happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, my love.
On the podcast, we had a weekend trip to celebrate your birthday.
I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old.
Went to the NYC.
To New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now we're in New York.
Babe, so we're hoping that you enjoyed your birthday.
I did, babe.
And also my mom's birthday. So
Mama President.
My fiance and my mom's birthday is one day apart, October 1st and October 2nd. So that is just amazing and super duper special because they both mean so much to me. And yeah, all of that good stuff. So first of all, my family got a whole gang of Libras, okay? They like Libra gang. We
strong.
Y'all coming strong.
In the president household.
Okay, for sure. So, yes, with that being said, we went to New York and we went to this magic hour, happy hour kind of.
It was a rooftop bar.
Rooftop. Really nice space, but there was something on the bottom that says where magic happens. That was their kind of like their theme is where magic happens. And
it was a nice bar.
Very much so nice. Like restaurant, like, you know, the food was, you know, good. It was good. Really nice. And so what stuck out to me is where magic happens. And sometimes people will feel like you have to be in a certain place for magic to happen. Like if I'm not there, then magic is not going to happen for me. Or people will feel like magic only happens for like a certain type of person. Like only people that just say they were born into money, like people that were like, if your father was the king of the country, or, you know, he was the president of the United States,
CEO of a big corporation,
or the CEO of a, you know, whatever, you might feel like, well, magic only happens for that type of person. But I want to encourage so many people that, you know, magic is created as well. So sometimes you have to create your own moments, your own magical moments. And you have whatever it is, you have everything you need in this very moment. Sometimes we have to silence ourselves and really see and appreciate the things that are in front of us, the things that will make that magic. My dear, my love, my friend, whoever's watching or listening, you are magic. Sometimes you are what the people need. You are what your family needs. Sometimes it's going to take you to break the cycle. Magic is really just creating opportunities. Like how do you define magic? What does that mean? Like, what is magic? And so that's what I want people to really stop and just think before you go into a new week or close out a new week or wherever you are in your week or whenever you're going to be listening to this. Stop, think for a moment, think about the magical moments that you've already experienced. Think about the magical moments that you are awaiting to experience, and how can you start creating those moments? Because there's no time like the present time. That's why it's called a present, because it's a gift.
Amen. Preach, girl. Dropping them bars. No, that was a great one, babe. Magic can happen anywhere. You create the magic. You are the magician of your life.
Period.
And the whole world is your stage.
That's it. That's all.
Preach. You better go ahead. Who said that? All right. So let's go into the chat room question. You ready?
Question.
Whoa, wait. Ooh. Back up. Let's talk a little bit about this past weekend.
Bring it back.
Bring it on. Bring it on back. So this weekend was good, babe. It was good. So we did, like you said, we went to New York. My baby surprised me. Like, I knew she was taking me somewhere. I just didn't know where. She gave me some options. She was like, you're going to have to dress cold or just warm because it's going to be a little chilly. So I was like, all right, we ain't going to the beach. So we're going up north somewhere. Maybe she's taking me to Canada or something. And she threw out like Philly and New Jersey and Atlantic City and New York and DC. And asked me which one out of those, if I was going to one of those, which one would I like the best? Which one?
Not knowing it was already booked. I'm like,
yeah, it was already booked. So I just want to see what I was gonna say.
Right.
But out of all those, honestly, I would say New York, because I just when it comes to visiting, I love to visit big cities like that. And New York has something that, you know, New Jersey or Philly that they just don't have. You know, I've been to New York before, many times, but I never really got to experience a lot. I mean, I've walked down like Manhattan and the restaurant, but I never got to see the sights. Like I never went to Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty or none of that stuff. So there's still a lot left to see, but it was a great experience, you know, seeing the street performers and going to the Empire State Building and to the rooftop bar and taking me to the Korean spot, and, you know, just everything was really good. So definitely appreciate it, babe. You did that.
I'm so glad you enjoyed. We had a really good time. We did. And we always have a really good time. We did a lot of walking.
Whole lot of walking. My baby was done.
I was like, man. And you were knocked out when we finally got back.
I was knocked out.
You slept good. So that's
I'm 43. Look, you can't really expect too much out of me.
We had an amazing time.
Yeah,
we did.
It was good.
So I'm glad you enjoyed.
All right, let's go to this chat room question.
Chat room.
So the chat room question is, I mean, they coming straight at it, straightforward. It says, why do women avoid telling men what they want?
Man, this question can probably go for a little while. It'll probably take some back and forth dialogue to get all my thoughts out of this, because there's so many
layers, so many different layers,
so many angles to attack this question from. Excuse me, sorry. That's one of the downfalls of drinking while recording. Get that gas, and I'm a gassy dude to begin with.
Half lemonade, half tea.
It's delicious. Some Arizona Arnold Palmer diet. 15 calories for this entire can.
Not bad.
And I don't want to hear no comments about, diet sugar and all that stuff. Look, I done heard it all. All right. Tell me the question one more time.
Why do women avoid telling men what they want?
All right. So everything I'm about to say, pretty much everything I've ever said on this show has been a generalization. All right. Nothing applies to everybody. Okay. So let's keep that in mind while we go through this exercise. Why don't women tell men what they want? First thing that I would say maybe is because women don't even know what they want. A lot of times women honestly don't know what they want. Women, I believe, and this is just my thoughts, is that their thoughts run through their feelings and their emotions. So it could be possible that while, so I'm hungry, right? And when I'm hungry, so I have a taste for, like, I want some type of meat, like steak, and I want gravy and rice and something hearty like that. And I know what I want. I just gotta find out, what dish it's gonna be. It could be like a beef stew or a pot roast or some smothered turkey necks, with some gravy. But I know what I want. Whereas a woman, you ask her, what do you want to eat? And she might say something like, I just want to go to a place with outside bar or outside seating, or I need like a good atmosphere. Like that doesn't tell me what you want to eat. It's because it's you're kind of imagining how you want to feel,
right,
more than exactly what you want. And I think maybe you guys do that with a lot of areas of your life. The things that you say you want is really just based off of how you feel. Like a lot of times women will say, I want a guy who is this, and this. And I've been with so many women where I was never any of that, what they said they wanted.
Okay. So before we kind of,
yeah.
So this to me doesn't sound like they're asking, why don't women know what they want? Why does a woman avoid telling a man what she wants?
As far as like food, or as far as what in the relationship? Or
I would, for the sake of this context, I would say relationship. Like what they want out of the relationship, but more specifically, I would take this into context as if they're saying what they want if it does come to like material things, or so just, this is someone you are already in a relationship with. Why does a woman avoid telling a man what she wants?
Well, that's simple. It's because women want men to be mind readers, of course. We're supposed to know what y'all want. If we don't know what y'all want, then it's not as valuable as if they have to tell us. And that's honestly, I'm being, silly, but that's honest to God's truth, in my opinions. Women, they want what they want, but so a woman is always testing a man, whether they say they test a man or not. They're testing, and if they're not purposely testing, when the situation arises for the man to rise to a certain level, they are keen and they are watching to see what he does. And
I think everybody does that. I think men do that too.
I don't know. I just know this is definitely a female characteristic, because they have to test to see, they're looking for a provider. Just genetically, women are looking for a provider. So they're looking to see, is their man going to stand up for them? Is going to fight for them? Is going to be able to provide for them? And they don't necessarily do that through saying, because a man will lie, a man will say what he needs to say to get what he wants. So they watch him through his actions. So it's not just that a woman, Say she wants her favorite ice cream, right? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, say her favorite ice cream. It's not always just that she wants the ice cream. Is that she wants you to think about her. She wants you to remember what her favorite ice cream is and bring her favorite ice cream, because the fact that you thought about her makes her feel loved. And it's not just how delicious the ice cream is. It's the fact that, wow, he thought about me. He loves me. This is special. You know what kind of ice cream I like. You know, I shouldn't have to tell you what kind of ice cream I like. You know the things that I like. That's what women want more than the thing that they're actually asking for a lot of times. I mean, you know, you have your women who, you know, they want their bag and that's what they want. They're gonna tell you straight up.
Right.
And those are not the women that those are the women that I avoid, to be quite honest with you. A woman within minutes of meeting you, they're telling you how their rent is due and all this, you know, that's yeah. But your woman that you're with in your relationship with, a lot of times she wants to see what you're gonna do. Are you gonna be thoughtful? Are you going to and that's really what it boils down to. She wants to know that you considered her, that you thought of her more than the thing that she actually wants, or in addition, or just as much as the thing that she actually wants.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I think there's some validity in that. As a woman, I would say that, yeah, those are some things that a woman may be looking for.
Why is that, though? I mean, I know why it is, but I guess what can be done? Is it necessary? Can you guys just ask for what you want? Because men.
So now, you brought in a very good point, and now that was from a male perspective.
Right. And let me just say this: men want to make their woman happy. Men want to make you happy. So if you could tell us what you want, 9 times out of 10, we're gonna do it for you. Even if we don't do it for you right then and there, we're going to eventually do it for you. We will do it for you because we know that's what you want. So we'll work to get what needs to happen to give you what you want.
So y'all, listen, this is being recorded, okay? You all are hearing what he's saying,
it's right? Write it down. I mean, if I don't think you've ever told me something that you wanted that I haven't tried to make.
I'm just saying, I just want to make sure everybody is hearing. So if I ever have to come back on here and say, there's something that I wanted, y'all, and I told him.
And he still ain't got it for me yet.
So I didn't y'all are my witnesses. No, we can't pull it back.
I ain't say right then, right there. You know, it ain't snapped to my command, but it is good to know what my woman wants. Right. That way I can try to provide that for her. But as I said before, women want you. It's not just the thing that they want. They want you to know and to put that thought behind it. But it would be so much easier, and men would really appreciate it if you did tell us what we want. Because men do want to make y'all happy.
So on the flip side of that, I think that a woman it's not that she doesn't want to ask a man for anything, because I think in most cases women are waiting, like they look forward to the opportunity of being able to depend on a man.
Okay.
So I think that women have had or have been taught to be independent. And
I'll let you go. Go ahead.
They've been taught to be independent or raised to be independent for many different reasons. Or maybe they weren't even raised to be independent. But a lot of women are now, let's just say, I'll say for the 30 plus group, a lot of women probably already maybe thought they were going to be married, or maybe
you think
were.
The majority of women by 30 feel like they should have been married by now?
They probably thought so.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's as a younger girl, like somebody in their teens that really doesn't know the process of dating or the process of life. That's just like I
think that's a fair age to have wanted to be married.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that ultimately it's not that a woman doesn't want to ask a man for things. It may be, yes, she's avoiding it also because of her experience. So there is a lot of men, I will hear men say, I would rather her be direct. I would rather her just ask me or just, tell me what she wants.
Right.
But then if she's done that before.
To somebody else.
Or
to that person.
Yeah, both. And
Okay.
especially if it's that person.
Yeah, I can see that.
Then if he responded like this once to me, I'm not putting myself in that situation
Respond to
again.
what once to you?
Like if you, depending on what it is. I mean, because now we're getting into specifics. And
no,
I
I'm
think
just saying,
that
like, he responded like this. Like,
if
what is not an appropriate response? Like,
well,
it's not always
if
going to be
he
yes.
did not, if his response was like, I can't, I'm not.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything like, okay.
Or,
there's
just no softness to it.
It's just like, or I'm not doing that. Or right. There are some things that men feel like they should not have to do. Like, and that is fair. But to say it's fair, then when a woman also decides that, okay, well, I will continue doing for myself, or I'll continue, providing myself with the things that I want or the things that I need, if this is going to be a continual response, or this is how, like, if somebody does something and they feel like they're doing you a favor, or this is something I don't have to do, this is, they're making you feel that, like, it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna have an attitude about doing it, like, here, you asked me to wash your car, I washed your car, now go ahead and leave me.
Right. But on the flip side of that, I think that, and I won't take up too much time because I know you're not finished your thought, but I think that what you got to be careful is that men also, a lot of times, men like to feel appreciated for the things that they do.
But we ain't talking about the men right now.
I know, but so Just keep that. I guess just keep that in mind, that it's not always that. I guess the responses, or we're trying to hold it over your head, is like, thank you would be nice.
If he ain't did it, I ain't got nothing to appreciate you for.
Oh, I thought you said that if he did it, and now he's trying to hold it over your head.
No, it's like, so my thing is, if you're going to do something, do it. Exactly. Do it out of the kindness of your heart. Do it because it's something that you want to do for me.
I agree with that.
And if a woman is feeling as if he's not wanting to do it, then yes, I'm going to avoid asking you, because it you know what, you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. So
to make a man want to do it, tell him how great he is for doing it, and he'll do it all the time. Get it.
Love it. But we're now, so here's what I want to avoid. For you to get this from him, then you do this. So the question is, why does a woman avoid? And this is why. This is
because they don't want to hear the rejection.
It's probably, so exactly what I said. It's not like, I don't think women are afraid of rejection, because at the end of the day, and we were watching, you and I watched last Sunday, this like panel of men that were talking that was really good. And one thing that I recall him saying is 9 times out of 10, most women don't need a man.
Don't need a man
for like materialistic things, or to like, even if it's to take the trash out, she can take her trash out. Like, if 100%. She probably has had to do it. So, and him saying that was that, okay, ladies, and we understand that. And but he also said that just because a woman can do it, that don't mean she want to do it.
Like, amen. I get that. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then it's like, yes, I want a man in my space that I know that if I ask him to do it, he can do it. And that we understand that it's a two-way street. We understand that it's give or take, or give and take. It's not just
that's life.
Him doing, like, right. We are partners in this thing.
Right.
But a woman is definitely going to like avoid if she is feeling shut down. If she's telling you stated earlier that a woman is more emotional. So if she's in an emotional state and she's coming to you as her man, something that she normally does not do, and you shut her down, she's going to avoid doing that again. But because now, like, she feels like you shut the door in her face. And yes, I do agree. Women are more emotional. I just no.
What?
Because like I said, women may appear to be emotional. Like they
you
show
you can say it.
women
are more emotional. It's fine.
but it's really so. The reality is, women express their emotions.
That's fair.
More.
Fair.
That's what I really want to say, and we do. We do express it more, but men share the same emotions.
I guess we do share the emotions. I think it is more extreme in women when it comes to certain types of emotions.
Oh yeah,
and that's just hormone. That's estrogen. I mean,
yeah,
that's
for
just
sure.
science right there. But no, I get it. I accept that men and women are both emotional. Women show it more. Okay.
Yeah. So just create a space. Create a space for us to feel that we can ask you for things. Yes, we understand.
Okay. I love that. But what about the woman who is not in that situation? So you think, is that the only reason why women don't ask for things? Because they've been rejected?
We just said that. We'll be here all day talking about.
Let's talk about like something not monetary. Give me an example. Like, why can't a woman ask?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, say you want me to kiss you on the way out every night. Like, why can't you just say that instead of like, I'm not talking about you, but just in general.
Yeah.
Instead of like throwing hints and like, being upset or like just.
Well,
I don't know that I'm supposed to kiss you every night.
So I think that the reality is, so we're not talking about all women.
Right.
We're talking about most, because I know a lot of women that does not mind telling you that.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, this is, you know what I'm saying? So I think.
You don't mind telling me, that's for fact. Like, no, you need to get up and you need to walk me downstairs. But actually, I don't really like it all the time, but I do like it because at least I know what you want from me, and it's just an easy thing to just go ahead and do.
You're just gonna call me out, but no, I agree. But I do also feel like if I don't tell you certain things, like if I don't tell you what's important to me, then you won't know, and then I'll probably just have like an attitude. That's when you.
Thank you, amen.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's it. That's what women need to hear.
Right.
Just tell me so that you don't have the attitude.
Right. But I think, in my personal opinion, and this is just for me as well, I have less of a problem. So I don't avoid telling a man what I want in that capacity. So that is why. That's not the first thing that I went to, because that is almost like setting a standard more than asking of something from you. It is more of like, yes, I'm asking you because this is what I need, but it's more so of like standards, like, babe, yeah, I'm about to leave. You should walk me down the stairs. Right. Or, that can be in different things. I
do. It's never like a struggle.
No, yeah. It made me I probably only had to tell you that like 2 or 3 times.
If I was like super tired or we were just arguing or something.
Yep. And you still need to come. Right. You still need to walk me to the door. And literally, let me not say to the door, like to the garage. Right. Because I'm parked in the garage. But I'm like, okay. So I don't think that most women avoid telling a man what she wants or asking a man for what she wants in that capacity. In my experience and from sharing conversation with other women, it is going to be more in the capacity of financial things. Okay. Now, you and I were also watching another show. I can't remember what it was, but there are some women that will 100% come out and tell you, well, no, you are supposed to they have these expectations of what a man should be doing with their money.
It was one of those own shows, Ready for Love.
Yeah, I think this one, she was like, what? You want me to pay what?
It was Ready for Love, and it was that radio DJ, the dude.
Oh yeah, and he couldn't. Apparently, I guess he couldn't pay.
Yeah, he was the smoothest brother on there. Like all the women loved him. He had like his pink suit with no shirt on. Like dude was smooth, right? And he picked his woman. Day one, picked his woman. This was like the perfect dude. He knew what he wanted. Went after her. Didn't mess around with while all the other dudes are like having sex with other women and talking to having all these entanglements. He knew what he wanted. He went for her. said he took her on the best date of her life, was like the Prince Charming. As soon as she asked him about splitting these bills,
he was like,
and he didn't answer this.
Like,
he was
like, we can, pay half. Like, I pay half of the mortgage.
The mic dropped, the record.
She was like, do what?
Not only did he just totally he just dropped from hero to zero. Like he was no longer the man.
No,
she went directly from him to another dude.
Yeah,
and it was all like that.
She was in.
Fellas, watch it, boy.
Let's not go off.
Ooh,
so I
brought
check
that episode out.
Yeah. So I brought that up just to say that there are some women that have no qualms about it. They're just like, this is what I expect. But to this question where it says, why do women avoid asking men for what they want? Mm-hmm. I just don't see it as more so of like what they need, like in their, the beginning of dating and saying like, this is what I need from you. I don't think I think that it's more when it's like more involved, when there's feelings attached to it. And now, like, if you respond a certain way and it hurts my feelings or whatever, then I may not ask you again. I prefer to just go ahead and get it done myself to avoid like, okay, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. Now, granted, like you said, some things is like, okay, you may not do it right then, and that's fine. But I think that it's a certain level if and how bad someone shows that they don't want to do it or they don't have to do it, then women are going to avoid putting themselves in that place where it's like, I'm begging you to do something or whatever, because rest assured, I can get it done myself.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that, and we can go on.
Yeah, we really can.
But I'll just say this: closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I was like, so I threw that out there. You were like, yeah. Hey, it's true. Closed mouths don't get fed. You got to ask for what you want for. Ask for what you want for, and if you give up after, then you can't really get mad that you don't get it no longer. You just need to communicate why you stopped asking. But
communication is 100%.
Yeah.
And
don't just give 100%. Up and just be bitter now.
Well, I don't think somebody's going to be bitter. It's just going to be like,
I asked you before, I get it myself. Now I'm like,
no,
be like that.
But
I said I would get it for you. I just didn't say right now. Be patient.
No, see, I don't even think that's what it is. And
a lot of times it is. If they not only do you want it, but you want it in this certain time frame. I know this from experience. If you don't get it to me as fast as I want it,
that can be true.
I'll get you whatever you want. I promise. I want to give you everything you want, but I can't give you everything you want right now.
Again, I just want to make sure. It's certain things that I really enjoy about us doing this podcast because it gives me something to come back to say on episode
17, 18,
whichever one it is. My babe said that he want to get it for me. He want to get me whatever I want. It may not be right then, and I'm okay with it, but he's going to get it done.
I'm good with that.
Thank y'all to all my witnesses.
You can set that in stone right there.
Set it in stone?
I'm good.
I think we good. Topic of the day, babe.
Topic of the day.
Now, it was on the women at the chat room. Now,
we do want to hear your comments on that one too, though.
The topic of the day is, what are men insecure about?
What are men insecure about? Men are insecure about damn near everything. I mean, men are very insecure. Wrong one. That's what you want to hear?
Yeah.
You didn't think I was going to say that?
No.
What did you think I was going to say?
No. Go ahead.
That's one of the things he's insecure about. Men are insecure about all that. And men are, all right, let me tell you something. Men, men are under a lot of pressure. All right. Men are under a lot of pressure to achieve, to attain, to obtain, because a lot of a man's value is placed on what he can provide and what he can do for his family, for the community. So men want to be valuable. We want to be a valuable man, and it will make us insecure not to be. So if, say you don't have a good job, you're insecure about that. Say you can't spell well, you might be insecure about that. You might be insecure about, your sexual performance. You might be insecure about your weight, your height. Men are insecure about their acne, their teeth, their balding head, their big forehead. Men are insecure about everything that a woman are insecure. We're insecure about, we're compared to other men, and but for me, to be totally honest with you, I love the insecurity. For me, because I thrive off of I've been insecure, for a big part of my life. I've always been a really small guy. There was an incident when there was an occasion that happened when I was little. I don't know if I explained this on the podcast before, but I think I was about 5 years old, maybe 4 years old. I was young. And I remember, I remember me and my brother shared a room, and my brother came to the room one night, and he said he just had a conversation with our parents, my mom and my stepfather. Excuse me. And the gist of the story was that he basically said that my brother's a genius. Like, my brother, he had the highest SAT score in the high school. He was a star student, had a full ride scholarship, Navy scholarship. Like, the man is a math wizard. He was on the chess team. Dude's brilliant. One of the smartest people I know. And he came into the room and he told me that basically my mom and dad said that he was going to be successful and that I wasn't. In so many words, like, they're not worried about him. They're worried about me, what I'm going to do with my life, right? And I don't know, because it was kind of like just a matter of fact. He just said it and went to bed, whatever. But that stuck with me.
It resonated
throughout my whole life, like my entire life. When I was younger, they used to make fun of my flat nose. So that was an insecurity. So I had a lot of insecurities, but these insecurities fueled me. It fueled me. Being the small guy, I was like, I'm a gym rat now. I stay in the gym. I was always shy. So I always took on positions to make me, to improve my public speaking. I took on jobs. I was a recruiter for 7 years, having to talk and give presentations to colleges, and I was a first sergeant, and all these big, visible positions where I had to do a lot of speaking to large audiences. I started a Toastmasters organization, and Toastmasters is a speaking organization. If you've never heard of it, I highly recommend you looking it up. Yeah. It's a great organization. I started one of those, a chapter. The things that I'm insecure about, I try to do something. I didn't get any scholarships out of high school. I had to graduate out of night school or summer school. I mentioned that in a previous episode.
Right, for sure.
My brother, like I said, had a scholarship. My sister, she was a valedictorian. I'm the only one with a degree. I have a master, I have an MBA. All these things I use to fuel me, to make me better. So I wish I was insecure about a lot more things, because I'll probably be way more further ahead than where I'm at now. But men are insecure about a lot of things.
You took a different approach too. And I think that if everybody takes an approach of, okay, doing something about your insecurities is one thing, but oftentimes people will mask that, and
act like they're not insecure.
That is not an insecurity. Yeah. That it's like, ultimately you would see ego show up in a place where it's really a lack of confidence.
You can lie to other people, but lying to yourself, you hurt nobody but yourself.
For sure.
Don't lie to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that, as I mentioned earlier, that of course, men definitely have insecurities. And so when I think about what are men insecure about, they're human. So they're going to be insecure about the same things that a woman may be insecure about. If it's height, some women have insecurities about height if they wanted to model. If it's weight, I think that women, men and women can have insecurity if it's too small, or if it's, they feel like they're too large and they want to lose weight. If it's career, absolutely. I think that men are more insecure about like career aspirations, financial stability. I think that men are insecure with their emotions because most men are taught not to have emotions. If you look back in the history,
or not to show them.
Right. So it's almost then that means like I'm not supposed to have them. Right. A child cannot decipher
what that means,
what it means to
not show your feelings,
to have emotions, but not share it. You can't tell a child that. Yeah. So as a young boy,
they just look at it as, okay, these are bad.
So as a young boy to say, you're crying. What are you crying for? Boys don't cry. Like men don't cry. Dry those tears. Or, you know, they can't show it. They're not, and especially in the African American community, men were taught at early ages not to be or show emotions because it is a sign of weakness. So then now when this boy grows up and he's experiencing emotions that he cannot express, then it appears to be anger. He's angry. He's mad. So and it was so good watching that show we watched last Sunday because it was so true. Like when we identify with a man and seeing an emotion, it all looks like angry. He's sad, he looks angry. He's sad, like he's hurt. You know, they express if you know it looks like he wants to fight, so it's angry, but he's heartbroken. So I think one of the biggest insecurities men have is the ability to express their emotions. And I think that when men find an opportunity, or if it's therapy, I've seen so many men that were like, therapy saved me. Like therapy was that place that I could really express myself, and they were able to heal and now experience life as a greater, at a greater joy. But then there were also men that says like, I thank God for my wife because she allowed me to express my emotions. She allowed me to feel safe. So I think that men may feel insecure about even expressing the need to feel safe in the relationship as well. So I think that yes, finances is one. Yes, career stability is one, but I think emotional stability is probably one of the most insecure things that men may feel insecure about because that space was not created for them to feel secure in. Yeah. So it makes them feel insecure because that's what they were taught to.
No, you're hit the head on the nail, and the problem with that is that it's a self-perpetuating problem, because if you're not taught to show emotion, then no one's ever going to see a good example of a man showing emotion. So who's going to be the first person to start teaching? So I agree. Yeah.
I will like to say that I have a few male friends that has sons, and I love how like their mom is, most of them they're married, so their mom is in the picture, and their mom still is that nurturer, nurturing that their child, their son, but the fathers have said it's time to like break that cycle. Like I'll allow my son to share how he really feels, like share his emotions. If he's crying, like he's like, I pull him in, like I pull him in, place his head on my, my heart or whatever, and allow him that opportunity.
I think I don't see any men who would not do that. I don't know. I know there's like situations where like the reason you're crying is not warranted. Like if you want a reason to cry,
I'm gonna give you something to cry.
Yeah, I heard that all the time.
Yeah.
But like if you're hurt, you're heartbroken or something like that, I don't think any father would like not allow.
Yeah, and so but I think we're in a very different time as well too. Okay. I think 20, 30 years ago, like you said, it was more so I'm gonna give you something to cry for right. or whatever. Yeah. And they may not are also, and this is just not for men, but in general, how many times as a child you remember, could remember hearing something as if, you're a child. y'all don't have no worries. It's the best time of your life.
Right.
You don't have no bills, you know.
Yeah.
So from some aspects from it, you may feel like a child may feel like, well, I'm not supposed to feel anything because
my life's supposed to be perfect.
Right, because I got a roof over my head, I have clothes on my back, I have food on the table. So really because your needs are met. A lot of, parents and men, like that's when you think about it, you say men, they want to provide. So they're out providing, they're bringing home the check there, So then when they get home, they're tired. So maybe they don't have that emotional capacity at the moment to really share and
with all that.
So sometimes it's not that they don't want to do it or they can't do it. Sometimes they don't have or feel like they have that ability at that time to do it. So I just think men in the past have done an amazing job. I don't think it's a point where anybody should, kind of say, oh, my parents didn't do this. But, you take things from, what they taught you or they didn't teach you and you want it to be taught to share it with your children and start, give them something that you didn't or what you did.
Yeah, I agree. It reminded me of this saying. I mean, because it's gonna go through these iterations. I think because a quote that I heard not too long ago was I've heard this quote before, but it was just reintroduced to me again not too long ago. Hard men create strong times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men. You know what? I'm not even gonna try to badger this shit, but it's like basically. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. So it's a cycle. So if you can put that together, if it makes sense to you, good.
Yeah, right.
I barely got that out. Yeah, no, good. Let's close this bad boy out. You think?
We got a closing question.
I know. Closing question.
Let's do it.
Closing question.
What we got for the
closing question? What is a lesson? What is a lesson that you learned from your parents that you didn't find significant until you got older?
A lesson that I learned from my parents that I didn't find significant until I got older. Well, as you know, I wasn't really raised by my father. It was my mom and my stepdad up to the age of 12, and then after 12, it was my father. My father wasn't really the fatherly type to teach me life lessons. So, any life lesson I got from him was how I should be or how I should not be, just by watching his example. But my stepfather did always have quotes and phrases, and my mom definitely taught me things. One thing that they taught me was that nothing in life is free. Didn't come from a rich family by any stretch of the imagination. Mom was a hustler, worked really hard. I saw my stepfather work really hard. We didn't live in the best neighborhood, so thinking back, I know they were grinding and struggling. Just thinking back to how we used to live, I didn't really realize that at the time. But I learned hard work. Is the only way to achieve. And I don't even know if that's actually correct, but that's what I learned. And that's what I applied to my life. Just working hard. What else did I learn? I learned one thing my dad used to always say was to enjoy being a kid because it's not gonna last forever.
Right.
And I never really understood that, but damn, if he wasn't right, because once childhood is over, it's over, and it's awkward to carry that into adulthood. So
yeah.
He taught me he's taught me that no matter what you do your best at it. Even he used to say, I don't care if you're a ditch digger, I want you to be the best ditch digger.
Now, you talking about your
my stepfather.
Okay.
The best ditch digger that you could possibly be. So I'm always been competitive. So even when I was working at McDonald's, I wanted to be the fastest cook, and when I was bussing tables, I wanted to bust them the fastest, or I wanted to have my own technique on how to get the dishes.
For sure.
Always competitive, so I always wanted to do my best at everything that I did. But yeah, enjoy being a kid. Work hard for the things that you want. Nothing in life is free. Nothing is given to you. You're not owed anything. So those are our principles that I carry out with me through my life. Watching my mom. For my father, my biological father. One thing I take away from him is the importance of remembering dates. He doesn't do a lot of things. He doesn't say much. He doesn't call, text, none of that stuff.
Right.
But one thing he does do is he never forgets a birthday or Christmas or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, even for his grandkids. So it's definitely that it's on his mind. So
Right.
that's his
Yeah,
way
that's
of
beautiful.
showing us probably the best that he can do. So I guess maybe just do what you feel you're capable of doing. But yeah, I think that's what I'm sure you got tons of lessons you learned from your presidential family. You come from the first family. You got a whole gang of powerful black women who taught you growing up. So you just
So I'm blessed. I'm very grateful. I have from both sides. So the president side, that's my dad's side. So that with that, I grew up with. My dad has most brothers than sisters, and so I have that side, and then my mom's side of the family, which all the like sisters and stuff. But from my parents, man, I've learned so much.
talk to me now. Give me some important life lessons, babe.
So much. But one thing that always stick out and that they always say is like manners will take you further than money ever will. And then but you probably like, I need this money. But now you see, like as we got older, we saw what that was like. If you have manners, like respect for others, for people in general, absolutely, like it's the relationship with people will get you further than money will. And seeing that is saying that even when you're looking for a job, you're putting in an application. People always say that it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, because who you know will get you in the door, and what you know will keep you there. So just life lessons from praying, the importance of prayer. Like listen, prayer, that is the I'm going to take the sound effects away from him. And then when he goes, I can stop putting these sound effects in on your side.
Okay.
Because like prayer and the foundation of being in the church. And one thing my parents always said too is, if you train up a child, like even if you train a child and they go their own way, what you've trained them, they'll always come back.
I heard you say that before.
And so I just think that is so true, because and saying that, you still probably like, what do you mean train up? So you teach them foundations, you teach them principles, because that foundation is what they're going to stand on when they get older. So that really like started to set in when you go off to college. Went off to college and like your parents aren't there, so what they taught you comes into play. And so many times you do see people that, other students that come into college and they're just like, they're lost. No, my parents did not graduate from college, but they prepared me for college. And so it's like, no, they didn't, they didn't go. So they didn't, I didn't have them to say, oh, when you get there, like this is what it will be like. But the principles that they taught me to, be able to provide for myself, like things my father taught me with like the car and how to check certain things, like the pressure in the car and the tire, or, from the value of taking care of what you have, because you don't have to have a lot to have a lot. And
say that again. Do what now? I didn't hear what you said. Say that again.
you don't have to have a lot to have a lot.
Damn. Okay.
And that is truly what my parents have taught me. And I feel like, I mean, not a millionaire by a long shot, but what we have, my parents always taught me, like, you take care of it. Like, so I think for me, when, like, some people,
I heard that now. I got this on tape too.
whatever.
You ain't got to have a lot now. When you say you want something, I'm like, babe, you ain't got to have a lot now. Babe, I want this.
Give me my moment back. Hold on, come here. Give me these words back, okay? Your words are not allowed during this part of it. And that is because you're where you are right now in your position, you can give me a lot. So I expect all of that, okay? No, but like seriously, because, and that's about those magical moments, you know, creating those moments. I remember, like, you know, my parents, my dad, like putting me and my cousins in a van and driving us to Disney World in like 1989 or something. And everybody would think that my family, like both sides of my family, is one big family because that's how we were, like, that's how I was taught. That's how I was raised. Like when my mom would take me and my brother to like my grandparents on her side, my maternal side, she would bring my cousins on my dad's side too, and vice versa. So those are some lessons that I have learned from my parents that it makes all of the difference now, because when I have children of my own, are, you know, bonus, like my bonus girls and my nephews and my little cousins. And so these are things that like we have those same foundations that we're able to share, you know, on and on. And so I'm grateful that my grandparents taught my parents what they taught them, and what they gave them was enough to continue building. So we don't have to always look at things and be like, oh, well, they didn't give us this, or they didn't give, but they gave us enough so we can continue building upon what they have given us. And so hopefully we'll do the same thing. We keep building, and then we also give our parents things as well. Because so many times parents like, listen, you've probably given your father things that he was never able to give you, or your mom, like, you know, so just seeing that type of thing, like, I think that is what life is. That's what we're, you know, supposed to do. They had they didn't have opportunities that we have, but the foundation that they gave us are, you know, prepared us for those opportunities. And the same thing, this generation, technology increases more and more, so they'll be presented more opportunities, but what we're giving them will elevate them even higher. So it's the elevation of what we were taught that just keeps going, growing, and glowing.
So what is that one life lesson, that one takeaway? The life lesson was, wow, it wasn't, you don't have to have a lot to have a lot. I forgot
I'm glad he forgot, because you know what? He's trying to take my life lesson.
No, I'm not. I just want to give him the takeaway, the life lesson. Just wrap up with that. With your life, with the life
just
lesson.
Wrap up with saying that, listen to what our parents tell us. So many things they've taught us and they've shown us, we find ourselves doing now. So one thing I know, I always laugh, and I find myself doing. I remember being little and we couldn't walk around like barefoot.
Okay.
And so it's like, you better put some shoes on your feet, you know, you get sick, or da-da-da. And so now I find myself,
Really?
I cannot walk around right barefoot. I'm like, where my house slippers? I got to put socks on.
That's the difference between a Korean household. My mama had us out there in the rain, in our underwear, taking a shower in the rain. Because we'll be out there playing in the rain, like in our underwear. So my mom would bring out the soap and the shampoo, like, might as well wash y'all's body while y'all out here playing in the rain. Man, she used to do all kind of weird Korean shit like that. But
that's
yeah,
funny.
It was good. All right, so before we go, we know we got to hit them with a round of this or that.
You know what time it is. It's time for hypothetical questions with Jesse and Shaquetta.
All right, so for this episode of hypothetical questions. We're gonna do this or that. All right. So we're gonna hit them with 3 real quick, and we gonna wrap this bad boy up.
All right.
All right. This or that. Be embarrassed or be afraid.
Be embarrassed.
Okay. Tell me why.
I mean, because I tried it. Even if it made me embarrassed, I tried it. Being afraid probably means you're not going to do it, and then I'll be left with what if. So I'll take being embarrassed and knowing I did it, or I at least tried to do it and realized it wasn't for me,
Right. than
to
be afraid to not do it.
And then always wonder.
See, I looked at that question different because I picked be afraid, because I looked at it as I hate feeling like I'm embarrassed, because that means that I did something and I totally did something I shouldn't have done.
Oh, okay.
Because
Gotcha.
I totally messed up, and there's some embarrassing moments in my life that I was like, oh, why did I do that?
Right,
it's like,
right.
But I would much rather be afraid, because there's so many moments that I've been afraid yet still went and did the thing and it turned out successful. So I'd rather be afraid than be embarrassed. I don't like to do stupid things that I regret.
Well, and see, the thing is,
Not saying that it always has to be stupid, but that's the way I was reading it.
Yeah, and then for me, it's more so of most times you're embarrassed because you are your biggest critic. It's not that somebody else
Really cares what you did.
or
Right.
laughing
That's
or
true.
anything. It's your thoughts
Right.
that's robbing you of a moment because you think you're going to be embarrassed, or hearing your voice play back, or after you did it, like, ooh, you cringe a little inside.
Exactly.
And it's not even because
Right.
nobody even said anything. You're
Right.
embarrassed. Everybody else is probably like, girl.
Sometimes you
killed
do
it.
just mess up.
But most times, like, that's probably as a child.
Yeah.
I can't really recall embarrassing
like, you
moments
go out
unless
to,
you
like-
fell or something.
You go out to you try to pick up a girl and you say something that's just totally made no sense. You're like, oh, why did I say that? That was so damn stupid.
I'd be like,
it's like, oh.
okay.
But yeah, that's just an example. But.
Right.
All right, fame or fortune?
Fortune.
Why? You don't want to be famous?
I mean, there's a lot of famous people that have no money, no happiness, nothing.
Yeah.
Give me the fortune. Like, I would much rather be happy, be content, be able to provide for so many others and create avenues of success. And the fame, child, I'm good on it. Like,
I agree. Definitely the fortune. I think the fame that wears people out. People get tired of that, and a lot of times you can't. There's no really good exit exit strategy out of fame. So, a fortune for sure. That's the goal right there. I think nowadays a lot of times it's not the goal. People just want to be famous just for the fact of being famous, and they don't really care if there's any money attached to it. But yeah, I agree. All right, last one that we got to close this bad boy out. Badly wounded or critically ill?
I don't like that question.
Badly wounded or critically ill? You don't like that question?
You go ahead and answer it.
I would say critically ill as long as I recover.
Don't look at you talking about as long as I
Recover. Badly wounded, it's like you lost a leg or some shit in the war. It's like you ain't never gonna get that back. But
I'm just praying that neither occur.
that's an episode, y'all. And we out. Make sure to go and like, subscribe, follow us on IG at Computer Love Podcast. And thank you for rocking with us, guys.
Thank you, guys. Later.
We out.